So if y'all missed the Eldrazi Breach deck, this was a brew that was pretty good pre-big shakeup. Underworld Breach deck that's using Fleshraker and Precursor together as an engine. Precursor, a little bit less known, 3 mana 3/3. Whenever you sacrifice a non-token permanent, make a spawn token. So the idea is like, especially when you get two of these into play, just like sacking your Bauble spheres, casting these, triggering them, just goes really, really crazy. And you do have Grinding Station Underworld Breach as like an actual combo to deterministically kill, but a lot of time you're just like casting Breach and just passively killing your opponent with Glaring Fleshraker. We're playing Saga now that Opal is legal. I think with Opal, Saga's just too good to not play, but it's not something we played earlier. Also, Saga dying triggers Skittering Precursor, which is a very, very small thing. But I know that I've even actually seen a lot of people who are playing kind of more traditional Breach saying that they haven't been having that good a time with the archetype. So I'm interested to see if like this is a better direction to go. Getting to play Kozilek's command, I think, is also like super dope at the moment. Yeah, I had Crime Novelist in an earlier draft. It didn't quite work, unfortunately. Kind of gives some KCI vibes, I think, this deck. Camaro with the Twitch Prime, thank you so much. Main phase fetch, Triumph, pass. Because we're up against creativity for sure. Also, I don't think I would play a Triumph in creativity, if that's worth anything. Not going to be that interested in making Saga tokens, so it feels okay to just like play this so I can get another star potentially. Is there a Kethis deck? So someone 5-0'd with Kethis. Kethis is an archetype I have like basically no experience playing. So I don't exactly know how I would build it, but yeah, I'm sure it's probably viable. Although the build is not playing, it wasn't playing Opal, it was just like, I think an already legal build, which is interesting. I would try to play Opal for sure at first. Alright, get ready to rumble. I think it's better to give them some life and just kind of focus on assembling our combo. Pretty sure we take Precursor. We can breach back Grinding Station. But we can get like a Chromatic Sphere or Star and like go +1 mana with the Precursor here. Kethis did really won the challenge. Yeah, that's what we heard. So holding up K command for a dwarf token next turn is good. We only need 2 mana to do that also. Another Mox Opal. Alright, so let's get a... It doesn't really matter. I guess Sphere is better because there's no trigger that goes on the stack in response to a removal spell. And I guess we... Yeah, we want to... I guess I shouldn't have tapped the Grove. I should have tapped the Opal for red. Oops. Not gonna be that different because I could just use this mana to sack the Sphere, right? Okay, so there's a Breach. We don't have a Bauble. Legend Ruling Mox Opal doesn't trigger Precursor. So I can go Breach into Sphere, exile 1, 2, 3. Sack it for green and like Rumble. It's probably better to wait. Yeah, I think we don't even really care that much if they creativity, especially if they don't ping a spawn first. Is a Mox Opal Grinding Station lethal? Oh, sorry. Forgot we had the Grinding Station. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and kill the spawn, Scry Draw. Sorry about that. Classic mislethal. Is that Flage in the Breach art? Maybe. I think it might be Croak Sub. Yeah, I'll reset the audio. I think I just want to Lotus Petal a bunch right now while I have Metalcraft. I made white because I was going to just filter it anyways. A little bit lazy, maybe. Yeah, I mean, my opponent doesn't have a bolt. I think we're going to be pretty good against the Taurus Proving Ground here. So we're just going to be passively generating a mana every time we sack a 0 to our grinding station, and then we're going to cast a Glaring Fleshraker once we get the option. There we go. And then this Glaring Fleshraker is going to kill my opponent. I should have sacked the Opal to the grinding station in response to the ETB trigger. Certainly a little bit of rust here, but seems like we'll be getting the dub. Gonna start auto-yielding. Usually what I like to do for combos on Magic Online is if I like to start auto-yielding once it becomes clear my opponent isn't going to concede to the combo. Do you ever get to kill them with Breach second step? No, but it did come up before that we triggered the Precursor after the Breach sack. Alright, so just a little bit of lag there. So now we will go always yes, always yield. Escape Mishra's Bauble. Always yield to Glaring Fleshraker. Always yield to Glaring Fleshraker. Always yield to the Precursor, and then it just becomes pretty simple. If you, also in these kind of spots, if you want to go up on resources, you can like escape Star instead, and you sack it, you actually draw a card, but just don't really need to do that here. So I maybe just not giving them the info that I can do it is good. Why not sack Opal here since you can sack Bauble by itself? It just doesn't matter. Is why they're dead, and I'm just going through the motions, killing them. I think my opponent maybe doesn't even realize that they're taking damage every time I do this loop. Or potentially they just want to see more of the deck list. Yeah, actually just good for them to not concede so they can see the deck. Also misclick. Although I think I still have a land drop and could cast a Rumble if I wanted to. You don't have cards? Yeah. Only need to cast this 2 more times. We could deal a lot more damage if we wanted to. Like we could potentially have cast more Glaring Fleshrakers, which just deals so much damage. But we just didn't really need to this game. So I could see a bit more of their deck, maybe. Oh, no, they just die before I milled them. Okay, so up a game against Creativity. I don't think Veil is that good against them. I guess it stops their Thoughtseizes. Veiling Archon triggers is kind of awkward because you don't get to draw a card, though. We should have a Lantern as Graveyard Hate. We don't need the Mite, probably. Yeah, I think we're probably just okay to run this. I don't think I want that much Graveyard Hate. Maybe you could play like 1 Tormod's Crypt, 2 Tormod's Crypt over 2 Baubles. Okay, command was lethal 2 times there, 7 times. Yeah, it's okay. It's like all roads lead to Rome. We gotta save some brain power too. Sharps for the 17 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. They have Leyline. Okay, that's good to know. So let's keep this Haywire Mite in. Too late. Fleshraker doesn't target though, right? Wait, yo, they have Leyline of the Void though. I was thinking for some reason of Leyline of Sanctity. I guess we'll see. Obviously, getting used to sideboarding a new modern is going to take some time. Needles for Rennet Teferi. I just don't think you care that much about that. They're on a fast hold to 5. We can also we can combo off without our graveyard. It's not that big a deal necessarily. Yeah, Creativity seems to be back for now at least. If you play 1 orb, you can win turn 3 without Breach or Grinding or Stone. But you need this card. Does this that care about Meltdown? Not so much really, because like it kills Opal, but it just kills like your cantrip card. Sometimes you're on a Saga token plan. Like there's Kind of looks like that's what will be on this game because they have leylined us. Probably play the Temple since I'm gonna play Saga next turn. Yeah, you could maybe cut the main deck Mite for a main deck Zern Orb. I don't love it necessarily. Seems okay. I'm getting pretty close to registering some Orbars in my sideboard again. Why do I see so many sideboards in single Emrakul? Emrakul in the sideboard almost always means that they're trying to have a hedge card against mill. Ooh. So I guess now instead of casting Grinding Station, we hold up the K command to exile Archon instead, or we'll just scry draw if they don't. Well, can't say no to that one. So it seems like I will decline to make a Saga token this turn. And then go Fleshraker. Well, I guess I won't actually have Metalcraft for the Opal. So if I go Fleshraker into Opal, Sphere, I am going to be 1 mana short of... I'm going to be 1 mana short of having K command up for the Archon. So I guess let's wait a turn and make a Saga token, which will also be pretty big next turn. Is Ob maybe playable again? Yeah, I mean, Ob was like pretty good top end in Mardu before like everyone adopted Ring. Could be a good time to come back, I guess. I don't really see why not. They discard Fable and they discard Lightning Bolt. Them discarding Fable means that they're going to Creativity or Persist here like 100% of the time. As someone who's been on Hate this year, what do we call this since K command already exists? Well, Kolaghan's command exists. It sees no play in Modern at the moment. So this is kind of the K command that people can play. Now, you could maybe... Okay, they cast a Looting. It's interesting that they discarded this. You could maybe... This card's Archon Wooded Foothills. So to beat my K command next turn, they're going to need to have another Dwarven Mine, or I guess any land does it because they can target this Fable, huh? Yeah, but the good news is the cool one doesn't see any play, so... Maybe that's not good news. Yeah, I'm going to target the Looting here instead of the Archons. Since cracking this gets rid of both Archons. And then I think I'll go ahead and cast the Grinding Station, grow the Construct, Ping with Fleshraker. And then we can get in for 5. And if they do have land plus creativity as their 2 cards next turn, we could be in a little bit of trouble. Otherwise, we're certainly sitting pretty well here. Our Reflection mana value is 3. I was going to cast the Rumble, but now we lead on the Precursor. Yeah, they should just be pretty dead to the K command, but... Okay, the Star is mana positive now. You remember you can't sack Chromatic Star to Grinding Station to draw a card if there's Leyline in play. Oh, but I guess we still want to sack it to Grinding Station because it's cost us less mana to get the trigger. Don't exactly want to mill the Persist Looting deck, but... Remember, Legend Rule also doesn't count as sacrificing. Why am I choosing Lantern over Ghost Vacuum? Cantripping in this deck is super important. It's so important to be able to cantrip. Like that's incredibly big deal. It also taps to sacrifice to trigger Precursor, which is also a big deal. And also sacrificing it to draw a card triggers Precursor. All right, looks like we're gonna beat Jund Creativity as we fireball them here. Opponent's not really into conceding. Those decks. Sacking Star was mana neutral on its own. And you could have sacked the Mox. Oh, right, it is mana neutral. It is the same, though, right? I sacked it to the station. Sacked it to itself is the same, because you get the mana back, though. Could one Cavern be worth it? It doesn't cast Rumble or Breach, which is pretty tough, in a deck that already has 8 lands that don't do that, so probably don't want to play it, but maybe if the metagame is very counterspell heavy, it is. Could be probably Belcher. Yeah, they suspend a Lotus Bloom. So we got to go fast up against Belcher here. Gonna crack my Bauble. Good card to know about. We have just one Needle. Maybe a second Needle's good now that Yogg is back. The Veil of Summers are also very strong against them, though. Like, Needle plus Veil of Summers kind of KO. Or maybe almost KO. Combo seems tough. Maybe, I mean, if it's graveyard-based combo, we have main deck K-Command. We can kill on turn 3, so it's not like we just have no plan. Yeah, maybe. Awesome, Jace. Very cool. Cut Urza Thopter for prison pieces. Makes some sense, yeah. Alright, so they can put a Seagate or a Waterlog Teachings into their hand. What's the turn 3 Goldfish? It's basically always cast an Eldrazi on turn 2 and then, like, chain through your deck and kill them. But there's like several avenues you could do it, I think, if you cast an Eldrazi on turn 2. Which is doable off of Eldrazi Temple. I don't know if you can do it off of Opal. I guess you can if you have Bauble. You can do it off Opal. But yeah, I think a lot of times if you just cast Fleshraker on 2, you're going to untap and win. Yeah, Arayo sounds really fun. I do kind of agree that pairing with High Noon is probably a good way to go. Dang, we're really just... I guess you can Saga token them. Oh, you can sack High Noon for damage. There you go. That's actually kind of sick. Looks very cool. Main deck Harbinger is pretty good. It's kind of going to be hard to beat that plus a Flare, because I'm just not going to be able to get colorless mana. Yeah, I don't have a Wastes in this build. Excuse me. Gonna be tough. Oh, right, but I could just... this is how I get the colorless mana. Although they are gonna flare this, but I... Oh, wait, this is blue, right. Blue, not red. Okay, so I cast the Precursor while I have the red mana. This gets flared, but then I can cast the Fleshraker and hopefully resolve that, and then start casting some more cheap artifacts to get colorless mana for the K command. Maybe they don't flare this, though. It would have been better if I had made red mana off the Sphere. I could have drawn Rumble, too. Okay. We also just maybe dead next this turn here. Do you think any of the Urza style decks from MH1 have legs? The traditional Affinity lists have felt a bit glassy. I mean, we had an Urza deck we 4-1 or 3-2'd with earlier this week. As far as War of Invention is, I think, bad if you're not Belcher comboing. If you don't have Lotus Bloom in your deck, I would just basically never play Whir. And then another thing, like, this is not the first time today someone has asked about, like, just updating 2019 Urza decks. This is not the first time someone's asked about this today. I don't think it's like that bad of a thought, but the thing is, it's Urza Saga was not legal when those decks were around. Urza Saga changes all of these decks construction enough that you probably just shouldn't think about it very much. You know what I mean? It's like literally just Urza Saga is legal, everything is different because of that. Master Beardsman, 19 months, think welcome back. What do you think is the best show for Twin? I've liked the Wizard build with Flare of Denial so far. I do think there's a lot of room for builds though. So they can whir for a Belcher end of turn and kill me, so we'll probably just be conceding. Yeah, let's go to game 2. DRC is budget replacement for Tamio. I'd play Preordain instead. The thing is, it's like, you're just not... The only way you can keep Delirium is if you have another DRC in the yard. Because your creatures leave the yard and you lose Delirium. Nature's Claim's kind of nice for like the instant speed kill a Lotus Bloom. If they were for Belcher, you can instant speed kill it. I guess you could also instant speed with Mite, so that's probably good enough reason for me to keep those in. Mystic Forge seems a little slow. Usually cut spheres if I'm going to bring in like 4 Veils. I think we'll do that, and then you can trim second Grinding Station. It's probably a matchup where you want it. I could trim 4th Rumble, maybe. I think Mox is good in Belcher. I don't know. I built a Mox Belcher deck we could play. We have not gotten around to it. We have so many decks like that we've built and still haven't played yet, and we're only playing one league for decks. What do you think about the Jeskai Control Twin list? I just don't think it's like necessarily looks that good. Like, I think for Jeskai Control, is Twin better than just Arena of Glory plus Flage? I don't know. Might be. Very fair about Saga. I guess I'm just trying to avoid putting them in mind. But like, yeah, we played an Urza Basim deck. I thought looked pretty good. And Urza was solid in this list. I think I wanted to cut maybe 4th Urza for 4th Mox Amber. But yeah, this deck, I think maybe we 3-2'd with it, but this build looked pretty good. I kind of want to play Nile Spellbomb over Lantern, cut 4th Urza for 3rd Mox Amber. Amber's just really good in your Basim, Emery, Tamio deck, and it's also good with Opal. Yeah, no mid-mites here. You get to play a lot of counter spells too. I think Tron is just flatlined. I think you can still play Tron. It's going to take a little bit of time to figure out the best build, but I think it's likely that deck makes a resurgence. Does this deck have any difficulty achieving Metalcraft? You're pretty good at having Metalcraft. It's not as good as other decks though. Yeah, Anvil Tron maybe is good. Ooh, almost clicked no. Mulligan. To play against Belcher, I guess we're gonna click the keep button. Did old / Green Red Tron play Mox Opal? No. I tried your Mox Opal Belcher League last night. Cutting the lands for Moxen made Tamashi feel worse, and I really missed Whir. Okay, that's good feedback. Whir is really good. Could move away from the Flare package and just play Whir. Okay, so we can upkeep Haywire Mite the Bloom, potentially. Toronto splashing red back in the day for main deck Pyroclasm. It's kind of interesting how Pyroclasm kind of came back around after being sort of unplayable for a long time. This might get spell snared. I'll take a second Fleshraker. Second Fleshraker can kill pretty quick. Love to draw a Veil of Summer. Banefire. Did people actually play Banefire? It's been so long, I can't remember. Might have. Yeah, pretty much the same reasons. Or similar. I mean, just Pyroclasm is pretty good again. People did play it. Yeah, I don't really remember, but yeah, I believe you. Should you be on some number of caverns on the sideboard? Maybe. Again, it's like we have, like, I want to cast my Rumbles and Breaches, and I already have a lot of lands that don't cast them, but we also have the Stars and the Spheres, which makes the like math on the land count kind of weird. It's a good draw. So we're gonna have a turn 4 kill if my opponent doesn't have like a counterspell for this Fleshraker here. There's the consign. Goggles, Wildfire Tron. Oh baby. We tried the Thopter Foundry variants yet? Not yet. Thopter Foundry has been, what's kind of funny is like when you think about whenever we've had these conversations about cards that were banned and have been unbanned, I don't think I've even like mentioned Thopter Foundry or Sword of the Meek, whichever one was banned. I think it was Thopter Foundry. I don't think I've like like even thought about that once because it's just been like no impact effectively. Restore balance with opals. Well, you can't cascade. Is Shadow Spirit auto included with Saga? It kind of is at the moment, unless you're playing like, I don't think this deck, because we're not really in on like construct tokens, but if you have any kind of beatdown plan, it is. I don't think it's good in this deck. No, Sword is unbanned. It is unbanned, but there was a time it was banned and it was an unban and it didn't really do anything. Okay, so we draw a land, we can go Breach. Hey, I guess we could also draw a Opal, or sorry, Bauble. Yeah, did not draw a land to go Breach Haywire Mite. Oh my gosh, we had the Bauble in the yard, but we didn't have enough to go. Yeah, we couldn't Breach back both. We were one card short. Okay, never mind. But I should have taken another second. No. So the thing is, we couldn't play Bauble. Or sorry, we couldn't play Bauble, leave it in play to tap mana for Mox Amber to sack the Mite. We could have sacked it to cast the Haywire Mite, but then we couldn't have tapped the Amber or the Opal for the mana. Can I share my Opal decks deck list? I guess, yeah. Put it in the mold of 6. Mold of 5. Prosecutor instead of Fleshraker if you're going to sack the Mite in their upkeep. I see. That might have been better, and then we still have the cast trigger on the other one. The thing is, you get a cast trigger off the Fleshraker for the Prosecutor next turn. These cowards couldn't even ban Eldrazi Temple. Temple is legal. Ayavugan is banned. That is true though. They did not unban Eldrazi Temple. They also didn't unban Lightning Bolt. Yeah, I didn't know what the card name was, so I just went off chat. Ooh, and another Eldrazi, yeah. Legal card. I think I think I must take Fleshraker here. It's just too important. Saga's kind of tempting though. Forge is also kind of tempting. I'd be stalked for the format if they gave us Ayavugan back. There's no chance they ever unban I think of all the cards on the ban list, Ayavugan has got to be like the least likely to be unbanned. Dark Depths is definitely required in Modern. I think that one's kind of unlikely too. In basically all of the no ban list tournaments I've seen, Dark Depths is the best deck to play, so it's a pretty good argument against unbanning it. Oko. I think an Oko unban would be better than a Ayavugan unban. I think both would be awful, insane unbans, but I think it's more likely to unban Oko. I don't know. I mean, when Oko was legal, like Abrupt Decay was like still a pretty good card, and like they would plus the Oko, and like you would just decay it, and it was a good exchange. It wasn't like Oko was very good in Modern, of course, but I do think Oko was like a little less good in Modern than it was in other formats. I think Oko was better in Legacy, Pioneer, Standard than Modern for whatever that's worth. It was very good. It was the best card in the format while it was legal, as it was in all the formats. But it was less like just unbeatable, I think. King Frap, 8 months, welcome back. Give me Uro. I really hope they don't unban Uro. Uro with Consigned to Memory, Fanatic of Ronus, Shifting Woodlands would be pretty gross. But yeah, both cards very silly to unban. So I'm probably gonna breach this turn. Let me cast a Rumble first. Lots of options. I think I'm just taking Sphere. Just trying to churn through the deck a bit here. Sphere is, is kind of a 0 mana cantrip. I will go ahead and cycle this first in case I draw. I guess if I draw Fleshraker, I can't cast it first anyways. How long do you think it'll take till the real meta settles? Probably 1 or 2 weeks before we have like a real meta game that will probably change some more. I'm really hoping though that we don't have a super like solved metagame in Modern anytime soon. Like I think something that Modern as a format really does need is a time of like things being things being open and things like changing and like a metagame evolution is just, like so critical if we're gonna keep this going. I guess it'd be better actually to have Rumbled there. Well, this is 0 mana. Rumble is 1 mana. Yeah, no, this is maybe better. And we can keep Bauble in play to maybe find a Precursor, although Precursor is going to be difficult to cast. Kozilek's command is really good answer to depths. I mean, the problem with depths having some good answers is like is true. There are some good answers to Dark Depths, but it's also like an instant speed, uncounterable combo. It's like just it would be a pretty poor unban. It's also the kind of combo that's like just somewhat easy to protect too. All right, I really don't want to draw that. I can also hit my land drop, so let's go ahead and just Rumble over it. I think we take the Temple over the Saga. Grixis Oculus with Persistent Archon. Yeah, I mean, I almost put Oculus in my Archon deck today. I decided to play DRC Bauble instead of consider Oculus. That's definitely a direction you can go. All right, GG. Hey, Spike, what's been cracking? Oh, it's been a pretty slow week. Not a lot. What's up with you? How's Grixis stream? We lost to Graveyard Hate a lot. There's a lot of hate at the moment. Doesn't seem like a good time to be reanimating without like a plan B to like put stuff into play in a non-graveyard way. So the most obvious way to do this is just like creativity your Archons into play. Kalia Goryo's I think is still pretty solid plan B potentially. There's also the infamous Cruel Claw. The best shell for Twin. So far, I think the best shell is the Wizards build with Flare. We 4-1'd with it earlier this week. We'll play some more Twin today or tomorrow too, I think. Yeah, I don't know if opponents realize that they're being pinged. Okay, opponent does realize. Should Phoenix have a plan B with all the Graveyard Hate around? Maybe. I mean, like, in my Phoenix build, you have 4 Force of Negations, you have Sink into the Stupor, you have Anti-Artifact Hate, and also, you can cast Dimulich. You just can cast that card as like a 0 mana 4/3, and sometimes like you just play 2 of those early and it gets the job done. Chef for the 26 months, thank you, welcome back. But yeah, I don't know. You can also like Slick Shot Show Off on the sideboard. I don't think that's just that good of a plan. All right, let's bring in a Needle. Let's keep in a Haywire Mite. I think I'm going to cut the Forge and click Submit. Yeah, Modern legitimately is healing this time. Thank you, Nick, for the 26. Kind of hard to mulligan double Fleshraker. If we could draw an Opal or an Eldrazi Temple, we also have turn 2 Fleshraker, which is pretty sick. Murktide seems like the better alt plan for Phoenix. So counterpoint, if your opponent brings in Leyline of the Void and you have boarded in your Murktide as your alternative plan for against Graveyard Hate, you'll be like, oh no. Oh no, I can't cast my this was my plan and I can't cast anything. So Temple obviously really good draw. I think I'm actually just good. It's just better to wait on the Sphere to get double Fleshraker trigger. So that's why you should play like Slickshot Show Off or Crackling Drake. But I just don't think these cards get the job done that often in practice. It seems a little bit better in theory to me. Yeah, maybe like you can give Drake haste with Arena of Glory, but like you really don't want to play Arena of Glory in a deck with like Demilich so often either. Could be okay. You can get Phoenix haste with Arena too. They're also going to Chalice on 1. Okay, well we're going to get a Haywire Mite off of the Saga to kill one of these, I guess. The Aria Flames backup plan not great. That might be back, I guess. I would be. It's been like so long since like Phoenix is a tier 1 deck, and like you can really flesh out the sideboard plans. Like for me and what I do, it's very difficult to like flesh out sideboard plans for decks that I just don't play that long for like that long a period of time. But it could be good. Okay, hopefully they don't also have a Kozilek's Commando, though. They should have already used it if they did have one. Let's grab the Haywire Mite. Trigger the Fleshraker. So I can go cast Precursor. Oh, I can't cast Precursor and then sack the Mite because I don't have enough colored mana, so seems like I'm going to go cast the Fleshraker, then cast a bunch of stuff. Probably have lethal here, turn 3 through Chalice on 0 and Chalice on 1. Although if they have Kozilek's Command, then that's a bummer. But maybe they'll Kozilek's Command my Might. That would be so funny if that's what they did and I just won anyways. Yeah, I think they're going to die this turn. I feel like this game is going to be a great argument for playing this deck if we can win on turn 3 through Chalice on 0, Chalice on 1, Kozilek's Command. You know, maybe they should have done that on this instead. But it just looks like we have lethal. Could be wrong. So each colorless spell we cast is worth base 4 damage because it makes 2 spawns that deal 2 damage each. So the Bauble and the Kozilek's Command are both worth 4, and then I can cast the Sphere and go plus 1 mana. I can cast the Precursor for 4 more damage also. It's probably a bit better to do that after Kozilek's Command, but the Kozilek's Command is also just, I get to make a lot more spawns and just kill them with it. Why they not take the Fleshraker? I mean, they want to protect the Chalices, but and like leaving 1 Fleshraker alive is okay. Leaving 2 is like, you know, always death for sure. Yeah, they're just dead turn 3. Obviously very lucky to have E-Temple into double Fleshraker. Isn't Precursor 6? This card costs 3 mana. Oh, is it 6 damage? Yeah, it is 6 damage. Yeah. We have lethal. My opponent's tapped out. Fireball. Will y'all let me keep this hand? This hand is just like, we have a lot of really, really good top decks. This hand's a little bit too nuts to mulligan. Do you think any of the unbans will be rebanned? Not anytime soon. So one thing that's really nice about these unbans, right? And kind of contrast this with like Gigantha Ring Amtraptor. Gigantha Ring Amtraptor these cards you just can't hate out very easily. Like there are some cards that line up well against each of them individually, but for the most part, like even if you have like a lock piece against the ring or consign against the ring, it just isn't like a backbreaking thing. If you want to destroy Affinity, if Affinity is the best deck, because oh my gosh, I drew Eldrazi Temple. Sorry, I lost my train. I lost my train of thought there. I think I will still wait on. Yeah, still wait on casting anything else. So for the most part, like if Opal decks are really good, you can play a ton of sideboard cards for Opal decks. If looting decks are really good, you can play a bunch of hate for graveyard hate for looting decks. If Green Sun Zenith deck's really good, you can play creature hate or moons for Titan. If Twin is really good, there are plenty of great answers to Twin. So what has me kind of optimistic about these unbans is that we can have like a real metagame shift and evolution based kind of around these cards. And I think that there will be times that there's just too much artifact hate or too much graveyard hate, etc., etc. My opponent has discarded a lightning bolt, so they probably have another one here. We will make them regret doing that as we kill them here. I'm going to try to kill them without showing them Underworld Breach, which shouldn't actually be difficult at all. Just so that they may not bring in graveyard hate. I guess I need to draw like anything off of off of my Chromatic Spheres. That looks like anything to me. What's the best deck you played post bans? You might be looking at it. This deck seems pretty gross. Did lose to Belcher. We could maybe have a few more sideboard cards for Belcher. You might be looking at it though. I think we're gonna bring in Crypts and Lanterns. Let's keep a Haywire Mite in for a Leyline / Detective's Phoenix and cut the spheres. Mystic Forge is kind of slow in the draw. Let's keep a sphere in, I guess. You might be looking at it. I don't think there are too many good answers to looting. So against looting, you don't answer looting. You answer the stuff they discard to looting. So Mishra, like Tormod's Crypt, Leyline of the Void, Surgical Extraction, all of these cards are very good against Faithless looting. Yeah. Was that 20-0? Yeah. Or we could have dealt a lot more than 20 that turn. I think they maybe did take some damage to their own lands. Is Rumble better than Ancient Stirrings because it makes a token? Yeah, making a token is a really big deal, and filling the graveyard for Underworld Breach is a big deal. And it also finds Underworld Breach, which Stirrings doesn't do. So for all of these reasons. Okay, how many hollow ones you got? Usually when they cast Inquiry and then no hollow ones go to the graveyard, they have some. Thankfully they don't. And also like my turn next turn with Precursors is looking to be pretty good. One gemstone has to be worth it somewhere in the 75. Whenever people see this deck, the first thing they want to do is they want to add a Gemstone Caverns or a Cavern of Souls. But I will implore you to look at the deck and see that we have we have 12 colored requirements, and we're already playing 8 colorless lands. So I'm not very interested in playing any colorless lands, although Cavern of Souls is kind of like a 1/3 colorless land because it casts one of our spells with a color. Yeah, I'm just not wanting to go down that route. So I do want to crack the Bauble. I think I want to crack it now, so maybe Inquiry is less impactful, or if they Bowmaster, they have to Bowmaster in their upkeep. Seeing Detective's Phoenix is interesting too, because I might want to just pop the Crypt to stop them from bestowing Detective's Phoenix. But also saving the Crypt pop seems maybe it's just better for Precursor. Like I could just get so many spawns off of it. Yeah. think it's okay if they bestow a Phoenix. I love that I just had this deck ready to go. It's just like such a good example of like what I do on the stream is I just try to maximize ideas. So when the format opens up, I have the stuff ready to go. How does this deck win without Fleshraker? That's the neat part. It doesn't. Although actually I did win one time without Fleshraker with I just attacked the Precursor. Ooh. One of those, please. But yeah, Fleshraker is the win condition. I guess in theory you could maybe cobble together a grinding station mill win in some very long grindy games. Not very likely. But if you're thinking surgical, could happen. Yeah, just saving the Tormod's Crypt to trigger the precursors is the affinity synthesizer thing. We played a little bit of it this morning. It did not perform super well. So if I cast my precursor off my red mana, I don't have any red mana for Breach. So I guess we cast the Breach. Thought about my old walls deck with Green Sun. Oh, why would you derail the stream like that? Sounds pretty fun. Sack this, make 3 more spawns. 3 more damage. This deck kills on turn 3 a lot, yeah. That's what I said. Like, people like, this deck is bad against combo. You just have a lot of turn 3 kills. Like, if you just cast either of these on turn 2, and now you can do that with Bauble or with Opal, or you can do that with Temple, you're going to have a turn 2 win a lot of the time. Got Menace. Yeah, we played Frog Oval Chase before. It is a pretty good combo. Okay, so we did lose to Belcher, which Belcher is probably still very good because I think it's like kind of the combo deck that beats combo and beats everything if people aren't hating it out, and we'll see. I think Belcher is a deck that can be hated out. I think it's a good deck to exist kind of for that reason, where like rises the prominence, people sideboard against it, metagame evolves. Is Belcher anything new? So there's like a Mox Opal build of Belcher that I'm not sure how good or bad it is yet. Definitely keeping this. Hello, Kozilek's command. Yeah, we are the combo deck. What was our second opponent playing? I think it was Belcher. I think that was the round we lost. Interesting. I guess they have Spell Pierce, probably. Maybe I should have played my land already. Yeah, so it's a little bit of a... That was definitely readable. I think I would like to try to save the Bauble crack for later. Although the thing is, I kind of do want a little bit more action for next turn. I want to hit my land drop. Let's see what they do. If they just bolt my precursor, then it's kind of an easy. I'll just sack the Bauble. Probably playing against Twin, right? So what are we doing here? I don't really see a way for me to hold up K command X equals 3. So I think we're just going to have to accept if we get twinned, we get twinned. All access pass after this league. Yeah, if it's live, I'll buy it so I can start getting QPs on my Spike account. How's Belcher versus Twin? We played. I think that was our loss when we played Twin. Also, we could have taken like a slightly different line too. This is some serious spice. Yeah, this is, you know, this is the Aspiring Spike special. You're not going to see this deck anywhere else. Yeah, until tomorrow. Maybe we should say you always see these here first or something. Another Fleshraker. So I think we just go cast this. Cast Opal. And if I cast this Fleshraker, I can't also K-command the Tamiyo. I think K-commanding the Tamiyo is kind of important, although it does seem like they have a second Spell Pierce. Yeah, they're definitely giving second Spell Pierce here. So let's just play second Fleshraker then, since we can, I think, play around that pretty well. I'm kind of scared of them Flame of Anoring, but if they don't have Flame of Anor plus another removal spell next turn, it's probably okay. Is my 24-hour stream going to be entirely Splinter Twin Brews? No, we're still going to do the 24-hour stream, but you know, the whole like Splinter Twin 24-hour stream promise, the spirit of that was always that if they unbanned Splinter Twin, that would be the most exciting thing going on in Modern, and it would be so exciting we would do it for 24 hours. That seems to no longer be the dynamic, since they actually unbanned, I think, at least 2 more exciting cards than Twin. The Green Sun, I think, is also probably more exciting too. So, to some extent, the promise is kind of just outdated almost, but we're going to honor it. We're going to do it New Year's Eve is the plan, barring like an illness or something. Okay, so they have Snapcaster Flame into Flip Tamiyo. I think this is okay. I think they probably still die this next turn. Yeah, it's like just Modern is just good in general. Sorry, that's my telephone. When I was on that plane to Seattle the other week, there was someone whose phone was like going off literally every 5-10 minutes the entire flight. And it was so messed up. And they just kept letting the alarm go off without just turning off the alarms. But it started to become really funny at a certain point. So I think if they Force of Negation me, I'm going to want to cast Kozilek's command. So I want to tap like this. Yeah, I kept joking to Esther, like, how do they live their life like this? I guess we could, yeah, we just actually still just cast the Kozilek's command, right? And even if they counter this, then we can still cast the Breach and win. So I think I might like something else to do rather than just another Breach for next turn. Yeah, like a Sphere is kind of perfect because this just lets me potentially kill them without using the Breach. The Precursor is worth 2 damage on board here, so getting pretty close. And I think that is going to get the job done even through a Force of Negation. Yeah, so they're just dead on board. Do I even show them the Breach? I mean, they see Grinding Station, so it's like they know what's up. Also, second Grinding Station to itself was lethal, I guess. Attacking was lethal. All right. Up a game against Wizards. It's Wizards, but they probably are also playing Twin combo. So I feel like I want the Veil of Summers. Assuming Mystic Forge is not that good against the Flame of Anor Twin deck, although Veil is very good against Flame of Anor. And then, do I play 1 or 2 Haywire Mites to stop Twin combo? We also have the Kozilek's commands. I think I'll play a second Mite. Why no Karn or more Forges instead of Mite? You don't want to play a lot of 4-drops. Like, the first Mystic Forge is still kind of a flex spot. The thing is, like, the 1 copy is good to draw because you don't have any more 4-drops in your deck. And so you can just kind of chain through your deck and without getting clunked up by seeing a 4 on top of your library. If that makes sense. You could maybe play one more Forge, but to some extent, Forge is also just kind of in the deck. In some games, it's like the only thing that can save you, and so you can dig for it with Kozilek's command. Um, but I feel really good about the one copy of Forge. I want to play more 4 drops. Have I seen the War Prison deck play the blue variant of Mystic Forge? I haven't in a long time. I don't know. Those decks don't sound very good. I think Whir is kind of a bad card with Saga in your deck, where like you just you need 3 blue to cast Whir, and like Saga is like this nuts colorless land. But I also didn't play that archetype very much when it was legal the last time, so maybe it is just better than I remember. Real question: why no fetch mana base for Bauble? Fetches also work with Precursor. Our mana requirements are the answer is our mana requirements are pretty stringent. Yeah, that's really all of it. You would play Vista plus Wastes, and playing Wastes in the deck is kind of tough to do. Yeah, we also need all of our lands to tap for color, or most of our lands to tap for colorless because we're a Kozilek's command deck too. So my opponent does reveal Flame of Anor, which is pretty good. Wait, do I get to cast Precursor too? I do get to also cast Precursor. Dude, Mox Opal is a legal card in this format. Like, what were they thinking? Yeah, with Kozilek's command, you really need like all your lands to tap for colorless, or most of them. I don't think I'm casting Breach this turn, so it's like for green in case we hit Rumble. This is turn 2. They're gonna Flame of Anor my Fleshraker. I told y'all this deck was sick. I told y'all. This is more on how good Fleshraker is, not Opal. I mean, Opal was a huge part of me casting like my second 3-drop this turn. But both are good. Yeah, this might be our first challenge deck. We'll see. Also, Underworld Breach dying does trigger the Precursor also. Ooh. Okay, no way to cast Breach and hold that up, unfortunately. Wrong color. So use Force instead of Flare. I'm going to crack the Bauble, get him for 3. Might lose this game. Probably a good idea for me to wait on this Breach, the second Breach, until I draw Green Source for Veil. Or turn on Opal, I guess. Think about Song of Creation with Mox. It could be a good deck. Song of Creation was kind of underrated pre-shakeup too, and obviously got better. I haven't like exactly looked at my old list or like Canister's new list, but okay. So my Breach is castable. I still need green. My discharge kills this. I mean, I probably have to go for it now. Unless if I draw an artifact, I have green off the Opal. Sure. Thank you. So we can't do everything here, I think. Okay, so I can tap this for green. I can use Haywire Mite and use Bauble and then play one more thing off the Breach. Let me look at my top card to see if I want to like draw into. something and play it. And yeah, I don't think I care too much about like playing the Grove this turn because I don't really want to give them any more life. But we have the Veil up anyways for Flame of Anor. Pretty nice. Runs at 3 life points. They have 3 cards in their hand. They're thinking about playing Steam Vents untapped here to play Twin, I'm assuming. No, to go Snapcaster, Discharge. Oh, Snapcaster, Flame of Anor. Get Veil Summered, I guess. Shout out for not ghosting opponent. You got a Flare as OS card. Nope. They do still get to draw 2 cards, but they're dead to my Mishra's Bauble. Dead to Mishra's Bauble. Okay, so we won every single game except for the Belcher games. Pretty nice.